2020 BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Championships at Altenberg in Saxony, in Germany, close to the border with the Czech Republic. Hello, good morning everybody, and welcome to a sleety, snowy Altenberg for the second and final day of action in the women's skeleton competition. Today our 38 contenders will all go off in Heat 3 and then the fast 20 in Heat 4. I'm Martin Haven, alongside me John Morgan, and John got an entertaining looking podium at the moment.
Yeah, Lena Nicotina, who's won a world championship before. She's won 3 races this season. She's got an unbelievable fast start, and it's tough maintaining lines on this track. She's in a bronze medal position. Next up, well, another athlete who's won 3 times in the season, Tina Herman. She's a 2-time world champion, winning last year in Whistler. She rockets down the track, not with very good start times, but she put herself into a silver medal position, about 1400ths ahead of the Russian. But the big surprise, Marina Gilardoni, she competed in the World Championships here in Altenberg in 2008, but she was a bobsled brakeman. She won a silver medal the last time out. It was her first medal in 4 years in the sport of skeleton. She's healthy, she's fit, she's confident, and she surprised a lot of people here on the first day of the World Championships.
Well, there was a lot of changes behind Gilardoni, who was the fastest in both heats. Tina Herman coming up from 5th in Heat 2. Elena Nikitina dropping from 2nd to 3rd. But the margin that Gilardoni had, 3100ths after the first heat, is now 6300ths over her closest rival. However, today's track will be very different from what they had yesterday, and different again. There was different weather in pretty much every day of training. For those outside the top 20, Alessia Kripper, Maddie Smith and the rest, the battle to try and fight their way into the top 20 of the final heat is going to be what it's all about. For Marina Gilardoni, though, it's going to be controlling the nerves and just making sure she gets a good, solid 3rd run. The chasing pack, including this woman, former European champion Janine Flock, Elena Nikitina, bronze medalist in Sochi in 2014, bronze medalist a couple of years ago as well in Koenigsegg, and their double world champion Tina Herman. Herman is perhaps the biggest threat. Jacqueline Lurling in 5th position, 7th only in the first heat. She's fought herself back into contention, and there's a 3rd German slider with Sophia Griebel. So it's by no means settled. 6300ths is a big margin, but John, this is a very difficult track to drive. You can give that away in one mistake.
Well, this former East German Sports Training Center, they wanted to build a track that was the most challenging on the planet. They did in the early 80s, and here we are for our 3rd World Championships on this venue.
Many would argue it is still one of the toughest places you can go to slide. USA's Megan Henry and Savannah Graybill, 19th and 20th, need a good 3rd heat to hang on in that top 20 and try and move up. And behind them, Alessia Kripper of Italy, Madeline Smith of Great Britain might have a chance to jump into the top 20.
Biggest heat of this young lady's life.
3rd heat of the BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Championships in Altenberg in Germany. Leader Marina Gilardoni starts the competition.
5:47, that's 2nd best of her 3 starts. Martin, if she posts a great time down here, she is going to be pretty tough to catch.
Well, no, it's for her nerves, isn't it? Out of corner 4 here, critical, that's nice. A good exit.
Wow.
The advantage she has is she's got absolutely virgin ice to deal with, the best prepared ice that we'll see today. The disadvantage is she's the first one to find out how different it is.
The Swiss haven't won a world championship since Maya Pedersen in 2005. She also won in 2001. She also won the Olympic gold medal in Torino. So this is a statement for Swiss sliding if she can come down here and maintain her lead.
Well, the only real mistake so far, the exit of corner 9. Little steer off corner 14. How close is she at the line?
58.26.
Okay, that's her fastest run so far.
Wow, so the track still got action left.
Yeah, well, it was cold and icy last night, John Watson. I mean, everything, it was freezing sleet, but that doesn't hurt the track.
Martin, you picked me up at my hotel at 7:45. It was raining, and there was big raindrops, and it was not nice, but it's sort of calm.
Now, I think the track is probably as fast as it's been all week, but here out of 9.
Her only mistake, but she let it go.
It's going to cost her about a quarter of a second on what she might have done.
Mark,
However,
she's won 1 medal in 5 years. She came from bobsledding.
Yep.
She's lost, she told me, about 9 or 10 pounds. She went to a sprint coach. She feels more healthy now.
She was watching the mistakes there. Oh, this is like Christopher Grotehair yesterday, who ended up winning gold, the overnight leader. You know, it was a tough battle with his teammates. It's going to be a tough battle with Tina Hermann. She's wearing the purple vest, pink vest, of our world champion. She won in Whistler last year.
68 in the first heat, then she went 76 in that heat, 68 again. So her deficiency in the second or the first run at the start, she picked up the last 2 heats.
She's wearing those funky blue start shoes that we saw first on Francesco Friedrich in the 2-man competition. Brand new manufacturer.
Blue suede shoes.
Yeah, well, let's see what Hermann can do.
She's a second 7 behind. That's relative to the negative start time.
Yep.
But that's a lot to be back, Martin.
Well, she can find a good half a second, but
still, she stopped the leading there. She's got the best speed. She's going to have to pick up 30, 40 hundredths here to have a chance.
We've seen her do it before.
Here comes 12 more hundredths, huge speed.
63 hundredths behind after 2 heats. Where will she be?
74, so she's going to have the best time of the run.
Still going to cost her time at the bottom. That hit off corner 14. How close does she get?
Second best. She doesn't get to her. Second best time of the run.
Oh, I tell you what, the nerves will be jangling now. Tina Hermann, that mistake off corner 14, that cost her the fastest run.
She lost 3 more hundredths back to Gilardoni.
Now, it's one thing to be 6/10 behind overnight. That's a big margin in a sport that's measured in hundreds.
6/10 to the final run. Whoa.
Whoa.
Look at this. She looks a little... I don't think she got on the sled the way she wanted to.
Over-rotated just a fraction.
A little bit, but, you know, it's her...
But look at the speed she has
well,
over Gilardoni.
You would expect her to use her track knowledge, and you know she's wearing the pink jersey. She's a double world champion. The athlete she's chasing down has only won 1 medal in 4 years. Wow, this is a pretty shocking development here, Martin. I really thought the Germans would make a move here in this run.
Well, they may. There are still a couple more, and there's still Elena Nikitina of Russia.
Watch this rocket, 29 or 30. She could break her own track record, which is 29 right here.
Ridiculous start record yesterday in the first heat. 5:27, she does it again.
She is such way more superior athlete than any of the other people in the field, but Martin, she's light, and at the high speed, sometimes we see her lose a lot of time.
Little skid in corner 4, good exit into 5 though. And she's got so much extra speed. She was second quickest on the first run. She was only 4th fastest on the second heat. Tina Hermann came blazing by her. She wants to move back up.
Oh, she's lost so much time. She was 77 hundredths at the last clock. Now she's over a second down.
And she's 3 kilometers an hour slower than Tina Hermann. This could see her drop out of the medals.
She does on those short 1,200 meter, 1,400 meter tracks, Innsbruck, Winterberg. She's untouchable with her start, but on this longer, more challenging track, she's a little bit more human.
Well, she won the race here last year, but not today.
58.93. This is
loses a further 7/10 of a
second. She could be in jeopardy of falling out of the medals right there.
Right now, she's out of the medals unless Janine Flock and Jacqueline Lurling throw it away, and they're not in the habit of that.
But she's...
Nikitina, I'm not sure what the setup she's chosen for this morning, but
she's got a 3,300ths lead on Flock that's coming up, and 3,400ths on Jacqueline Lurling. Little tap there, that's up early in the track, so that negated her great start. But here, look at how much speed she lost. She's almost 3 kilometers in time down at the halfway part of the track. Martin, in a sport dealing with hundreds of seconds, that's unbelievable.
Well, we saw Marina Gilardoni go 6/10 quicker than her best run. So Janine Flock needs to do the same. Janine 4th in heat 1, 5th in heat 2. 1.1 seconds back overnight, the European bronze medalist this season.
And the only athlete that competed in the skeleton event at the 2008 World Championships.
That was her.
Martin, in a golf tournament,
debut.
Golf tournament's 4 days of competition. They call the 3rd day moving day. Here in Bob and Skeleton in the World Championships Olympics, it's 4 heats. the third heat is moving day. This is when you position yourself for a chance for a medal in the fourth run.
Janine's problem is that Marina just started 5:47. She started 5:72. She gave away a quarter of a second before she even lay down.
Check out the speed, the best speed though. And now she wants to chase down Nikitina when she has a chance.
I think she'll move up. I think Nikitina will probably in this run 5th or 6th.
Most experienced athlete in the field.
Nice looking run from Janine Flock.
She's up to third
on
now.
The money. Here we go.
Oh, she had some problems there. Watch her get real high here, but
2 kilometers quicker than anybody at the bottom.
58:11. That's the fastest time of the heat.
Yep. That's the fastest time in the competition. By 7/10 of a second, quicker than anything anybody has done. But only 1500s closed on Marina Gilardoni with a blistering run from Janine Flock.
Only 2600s off the track record right there, Martin, and a track that we thought was going to be slow. Wow. Ralph Mende did some magic again.
Yeah, as ever, working all night, every night. So Janine moves up.
Pressure run right there.
She's in the medals.
There's the treacherous curve 4 to 5, and you know, she wasn't perfect there.
That could have been a lot better, couldn't it?
Yeah.
That could have found her another 0.2 of a second.
Maybe challenge the track record high there in the finish.
Well, next up, Jacqueline Lurling, the World Cup champion this year, 2 race wins.
Watch out here, 3rd best time in the second run, 7th best time in the first run.
That was the one that she started with her shoelaces tied together or something. That just cripples your chances.
But she is a speed merchant like Flock, who just came down the track. You don't want to watch the start. It's going to be the, a 78, which she had in both runs. 78, 3 straight heats. She's had a 5.78.
Can't knock her consistency, can you? But the loose first run, she had all sorts of problems down this track. So unjack her.
She's got to get through here first. Makes a mistake there again.
Same as Flock.
Man. And that's going to just take away her deficient start, add to a mistake at 4.5. I don't know now, Martin.
She's 3600s behind Nikitina. I'm not sure she's going to get to the Russian.
The speed, she eliminated the speed with the hit up there in the 4-5 combination.
Well, this is looking good again, lower down, but she's lost the speed early on. It's not her weekend, is it?
No, her curve 4-5. She can look at that and just say, second best speeder in the bottom. She's coming back. I don't think she's got a chance to catch into the...
She's not going to catch Nikitina, is she? Yes, she does. Slips in front. All right, so she's up to 4th, but she's
2,800s behind Janine Flock.
With a similar mistake in corner 4 to 5.
Mark, you saw what she did on the bottom, even with that mistake up at 4-5. If Flock has to make a mistake for Lowling to catch her, and the next run of Lowling's got to get through curve 5 to have a chance.
Yep. So same as the main yesterday, they're trying to avoid steering in corner 4. They come off late, they hit 5 hard.
Wow, look at that. That's just a disruption of your momentum. Here, she's not absolutely perfect there. Only the 3rd speed. Flock was like, wow.
And Gilardoni came out of there like a bullet as well.
Yes. She's, you know what she's screaming about.
All right, what about Anna Fenstettova from the Czech Republic? 6th after the first heat. She moved up from 7th to 6th overnight.
Nobody had better speed in the race at the bottom part of the track than this young athlete. She's got terrible starts.
6:08.
But the speed on the bottom part of the track, she was the only person in 114 kilometer plus average. Everybody else was in the high 13s, and she's perfect there. She could challenge with the perfect run here and the big speed that she attains here.
Her problem is she's given away at every start 0.8 of a second to Elena Nikitina. That's 2.4 seconds just in the start given away to Elena Nikitina.
No, it's
going to be hard to win any races.
Her 3rd best speed, 2nd best speed. She probably have the best speed into the finish, but she's going to run out of track. 2nd best speed still.
3-time junior world champion, the first woman ever to do that in skeleton. At the line, what's the time? 58.88.
5th best time. Oh. So she knocked off 1, but she didn't close the gap too much. Still way behind, over a half second behind Nikitina.
Well, her battle will be to stay in the top half dozen. She's only 300s ahead of the next athlete.
Yeah, the start. Anna, you need a start.
Yeah, Anna's summer will be spent trying to find a few more hundreds at the start.
There's not much you can fault with these lines.
That girl
Feet
can drive,
together.
no question.
I mean, there's no toe dragging there.
She's got a great feel for the ice, and she needs a little more speed. Marina Gilardoni leads from Tina Herman and Janine Flock. 7th of our 28 athletes. It's day 2 of the Women's Skeleton World Championships, and Sofia Griebel, 6th in Heat 1, got overhauled by Anna Fenstetter of the Czech Republic, dropped to 7th in Heat 2. Let's see if she can bring back that 300ths of a second margin.
65 and a 61, so she's better than most at the start. 64, third best start behind Nicotina and Gilardoni. Good slider. She's won medals numerous occasions. She's even won on this track. Did she win a... No.
Not so bad so far. Decent looking run from Sofia Griebel. Her target is to claw her way back past Anna Fenstetter.
Yeah, top 4 speed here will give her a chance to move ahead of the Czech. Top 5, she's the 5th speed. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be close between the two of them. Former teammates. Anna Fenstetter started her career like Kim Marmans in Koenigsegg as part of the German team. Moved to the Czech Republic a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, her grandmother was Czech. 5th. This looks like 6th. She might pick up 1.
It's going to be close at the line. She's ahead of Fenstetter.
Yes,
so, yeah.
She moved up 1.
And actually, she's 1900s ahead of Anna, so that's a big turnaround for Sofia Griebel.
Well, you know, she won at the start by 4400s.
And she beat her by 2200s on the run. So, yeah, Anna drove, but was outstarted by Sofia Griebel. She moves back up into the top half dozen. So all 3 German athletes in the top 6 now, but they're going to have to find some miracle on ice, John Morgan, to try and overhaul the race leader. And again, look, Griebel comes out late and bang.
Yeah, this is the
hard transition.
Boy, 2 of the 3 German sleds.
Yeah, only Herman got through there. Well, next up, Jane Channel of Canada, 3rd fastest starters. She was 3rd in Heat 1, 17th. It was a horror show. Really was. Let's see if she can tidy up Heat 3. 5:49, that's another huge start.
She's one of the better starters, better athletes in the field in the first 50 meters. Just a little erratic, and let's see.
It was
she
here.
Can get through here.
Start the rot.
No, she did it again.
Lost a lot of speed there.
First heat she got through there. She had the 3rd best time of the run. We're going, wow.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity for a medal, and unfortunately undone on the 2nd heat. Well, she's got a good exit out of corner 9, but the speed lost in turn 5.
Yeah, it was too much.
Late.
She's got the longest hair all the way down to her hips, and I said, what is it? She says, well, I'm getting ready to cut it off to donate it to charity. Told me that the other day.
That's a great deal from Jane Channel. 8th fastest, she's the 8th slider, so all of that speed went away in corner 4 to 5.
That was ugly.
And out of the Kreisel and out of the finish line, 59.3. Well, to put that into perspective, 3rd fastest run in the first heat, it was a 59.36. She's just done a 59.30.
And she's the 8th best time.
But her 2nd run.
1:00.50.
60.5 seconds.
Yeah, if she would have done 59 again, you know, she'd be up there in the top 4 or 5. But this is why. That's the worst line we've seen so far. And
big hit.
I wonder if they all talk to everybody up there at the start out. So they all go, hey, what are you going to try different in curve 4 or 5? You think they talk to each other about this?
No, but I'm sure they talk to the coaches about what they can sort out. Corner 4.
Looks a little flu.
Yeah, got a bit of a cough. She's not the only one. She's a bit of a limp there as well.
End of the season. There's a lot of wounded athletes up there competing.
Yulia Kanakina of Russia, the 9th of our 28 starters. Yes. Last year in the race here, Elena Nikitina won. Jacqueline Lurling took silver. Yulia took the bronze medal. But 9th and 10th fastest runs.
Like her teammate, spectacular starter, 5:40. 2nd best start in yesterday, the first 2 heats. But like her teammate, she's lightweight. And we noticed just doesn't have the speed on these longer tracks.
Well, they weight up the sled so that they're up to the maximum weights, no matter how light the athlete is. And that's why you'll see USA's Megan Henry pushing a sled that's almost half her own body weight.
Yeah, but...
Good exit there from Yulia Kanakina. What sort of speed has she got? She's ahead of Jane Channel on the splits. She is ahead of Anna van Stettever on the splits.
Yeah, but bad speed.
Yeah.
Took too much of 11 and 12.
Oh,
this is where it starts to come falling apart right here. Good athlete.
Will she overhaul Jane Channel? At the moment, only the 9th speed. She's the slowest sled at the bottom of the track so far. Is she going to get to the Canadian? No,
pretty much.
Well, she'd moved up 2 places.
1800s off of Jane Channel. She was 7th last year's World Championships, 9th now. She has I don't know. She's going to have a long way to get to 7th in this day.
Yeah.
8th, maybe.
Not her weekend either.
And this wasn't perfect.
So again, you see the hit, the athlete getting shunted off the sled.
But the fact is you get pushed over too. Friction, that's when you're trying to accelerate away. Little wavy.
The runners are like a rocking chair. They're bowed at the bottom, and you could just see her there trying to stop it squirreling underneath her. You've got to be like a damper. So the 10th of our 28 starters is Canada's Mimi Reneva, multiple World Cup race winner, and another fast starter.
Yeah, she's
finished in 12th place in the Worlds last year in Whistler, 8th place in Koenigsegg Worlds in 2017.
Martin, I think she's had a subpar year, only 1 medal. I mean, she's a great athlete, multiple winner previous year. Only 1 medal in the whole season, a silver in Winterberg. Didn't have a very good first run, the 6th best start time. Well, you know, she had a lot to do with this little curve action right here.
Again
and
here.
She does it again.
Yep.
Bang.
Come off late, you hit the take on to corner 5. It's right there as you drop out of 4.
Boy,
and it's like hitting a brick wall.
Martin, there's so many tracks where we have all we could do to describe the good, the bad, and the ugly. Here, you just got to look at that curve 4-5 visually, and you know.
And again, big pressure in the Kreisel. Late exit, very late exit.
Boy, she's out of control there. 11-12 too.
And again, the ice totally different from anything they've trained on.
It's faster.
It is.
It's close to the track record.
And that means all the feeling you have has gone because your timing is completely out.
And through and down.
Oh, and hits the wall as well, 59.86.
With all of what we just said, that's still the fastest she's been down in 3 heats.
Yeah.
And with everything, you know, she's...
Well, the track is definitely half a second quicker than they've seen, maybe more than that than they've seen. Marina Gilardoni coming down 6/10 quicker than her best run. Oh, and again, big hit. And it's corner 4. You've got to take much more steering than you think is wise for speed.
Gilardoni with a really low controlled line. I'm surprised at that, but you could see who covered more ice.
Yep. Well, it's a different sled. Requires a different way of driving. Gilardoni on a Schneider sled. It's stiffer. You can hold a constant line. She leads from Tina Hermann. Janine Flock's moved up to 3rd. Elena Nikitina slips to 5th. 10 sleds down, 3rd heat of the Women's Skeleton World Championships. In 11th place, looking for a top 10 finish, is Kendall Wessenberg of the USA. A good first day for her, John Morgan.
Yeah, she was 11th in last year's World Championships at Whistler. She's got great gliding opportunity. She has a start deficiency. She's got the 10th best start of 11 sleds that have come down, so she has to rely totally on her experience and her ability to drive a sled. And she can drive a sled. Let's see if she can get through here. Yes, she does.
Moved up in heat 2 from 11th to 10th, and a clean run from 4 to 5. That could launch her a little further up the leaderboard as well.
Top 6 or 7 speed down here, give her a chance to move up a couple places.
Oh, little late speeds off corner 9.
5 speed, this is good.
She's got to get the Kreisel right though. Needs a good clean exit, gets one. Here we go. She could move up 2 places. She could end this one in 9th.
10th speed. Must have had a bad exit of Kreisel.
She'll overhaul Mimi Reneva. Her target will be Yulia Kanakina of Russia.
Gets into the top 5 speeds here. She'll be moving up.
9th at the line, 10th at the line. How far behind Kanakina? 4/10.
But she moved ahead of Ravina.
Yep, got ahead of Mimi Reneva into 10th place.
It's all about personal best, and this athlete from Modesto, California, 11th in last year's World. She's in 10th going into the final run. Top 10 finish would improve on what she did last year. Tuffy Latour, the longtime coach of the U.S. program. And the exit of 9 wasn't perfect. She corrects well, though. She's real quiet on the sled.
Yeah. Kendall was 9th in the World Cup race here last year, and the only real difference between that field and this field is Marina Gilardoni is a much fitter, faster Marina Gilardoni. So Kendall holding her pace against the rest. Next up, Kim Marmans of Belgium. Big weekend for her last weekend when we were racing in Sigulda. Another fast, twisting track like this. Finished in the top 5.
Martin, she had the 17th best time in the first run, just a crash and burn run, and then she had the 8th best time in the second run. And it all relates to coming through this next part of the track right here.
Again, started a career in the German team, hits 5 though.
Yeah, not perfect.
Mind you, 2 of the 3 German women hit 5 as well, so for all that track knowledge, just has to steer hard off corner 9.
Much better this World Championship. She was 20th in Whistler
good speed
last year, so she's challenging
Here
the top 10.
Kim Marmans, good speed,
Great
7th
speed.
fastest still.
She's up to 10th.
So ahead of Mimi Reneva, can she catch Kendall Wessenberg? What was the gap between them?
Seventh, still the 7th best speed.
It was only 1600s. That's quicker than Kendall Wessenberg. Is she in 10th place at the line? She's 9th at the line. That's a big move up for Kim Marmans.
So she does it correctly. 6th best time or 8th best time of the run.
And she still messed up 4 to 5.
Martin, she's 8,500ths better than her fastest run to date. That's a lot.
Very good.
She does that again in the next heat. She's going to be in the top 6.
This is what she did last week. Stayed in the leaders box. Her, Kimberly Boss, and Kimberly Murray.
What would she have done without that?
That's another 2/10 at the bottom. But she knows how to slide this track.
59.
Look at that, head buried coming out of corner 9. She trusted the feeling, and she was not wrong. Great run from Kim. One more, yeah, absolutely. Great run from Kim Marmans.
She could only throw out the first heat.
Next up, Renata Kutsina of Russia. Unfortunately, as in golf, every stroke counts, every heat counts here. Renata Kutsina 13th after first heat, 2/10 behind Kim Marmans.
Pretty much where she was in last year's World Championship. She finished 14th. She's 13th here entering this run. A good starter.
Again, this is a track that works well for her. She raced into 10th place in last year's World Cup field. And the World Cup and the World Championships vary very little in terms of the quality at the top of the field.
Very nice.
Good exit 4 to 5. Here we go.
We can't say that about everybody. Best finish of the season was in in Sigulda. She got 6th. So she's coming on as a slider. She's a little...
What speed has she got? She's kind of overshadowed by her teammates a little because she doesn't start like she's been fired off a rocket.
Yeah, like the other 2.
Here we go, though. That's a good exit. 9th fastest. This is where she's going to start picking up places.
Seems like she's more controlled on her sled compared to her 2 teammates, but her 2 teammates got the rocket starts.
8th fastest. Is she going to pick off Mimi Reneva at the line? She's going to be pretty close to the Canadian. And is she 12th at the line? She's ahead of Reneva.
By 700ths.
So Reneva, 10th overnight, has already lost 3 spots.
She's 5/10ths down to her teammate, Kanakina, who's in 10th. Only 13 behind Kendall Wessenberg. That's a good run.
Yep, that was a good run.
59.38. She just rocketed down the track. Martin, almost a full second than her second run yesterday. 8,800ths better. I like the technique. Well, see, look where her foot got onto that groove. I don't like the technique where their feet
We saw that yesterday. The further she sprints, the further her feet get away from the sled. She needs to work on that. But her driving,
14's
nice stuff, Renata. Big smile from her. 14th of our 28 sleds, halfway through the field. World Cup debutante and a World Championship debutante this season. Agathe Bessar, 22-year-old, being coached by former slider from the Netherlands. She was the Youth Olympic Games bronze medalist in 2016.
Martin, one thing we noticed yesterday, this young athlete doesn't get a very good start, but boy, she has some great speeds on the bottom part of the track. You know, father was the manager of the track, wouldn't let her slide till she was 14, and when she started sliding, Martin, if you slide La Plan on a consistent basis, it's a long speed track. And she proves that she's a good slider.
That's a good run from 4 to 5 as well. Not the neatest, but by far not the worst that we've seen. So she could pull herself up the order a little here.
Speed, look at that, the 5th best speed. She had the 13th best start.
Oh, huge height on the first pressure. Just about nails the landing.
She lost a little bit with that height issue.
But she could still move up as well. Maybe she'll get ahead of Mimi Reniva.
6th best speed. This is what she did yesterday.
Where she can finish anywhere in the top 20 on her World Championship debut.
12th best time, 14. No, she's one of the first sleds we've seen not move up. She did close the gap. She's only 700ths behind Mimi Reniva and only 1400ths behind Kutsina from Russia. So she's got a chance.
So that's a great little battle for the final heat, isn't it? Agathe Bessar, that is a great way to start your World Championships.
Her first World Championship.
Yeah. 2 World Cup races only in her career.
She almost
stood on the sled.
I think she did. Yeah. I think she did. Now look at her feet. Boy, her feet were behind the sled, then they got kicked out.
Well picked up there in the chuck. Nice work on the slow-mos. And look at the height here. She just lets it go. And that's where she found the speed. Just let it go.
Look at Jill Ordani, just consistent.
That's the nature of the Schneider sled. It doesn't flow freely in the same way that something like a Bromley sled does. Now, talking of Schneider, Willi Schneider there laying the sled down for Ling Wei Yang of China, one of our young athletes from China in the field, looking towards the the Olympic Championships in 2 years' time. Her second Worlds.
Start time, not bad. 5:57, 6th best start. Pretty much what she did yesterday. Good athlete here. And Martin, the Chinese are coming far, and watch out here though. That's the worst one we've seen yet.
Okay, and that might drop her out of the top 20. I mean, look at the sled now. It looks like it's almost stopped.
Yeah, that's now you have to, look at her now.
And now she hasn't got the control that she had with higher speed. She can't get the height in the Kreisel. She's going to struggle on the exit. No, gets it down. And that was a real disaster. Slowest of the sleds so far almost for Lin Haiyang of China. Recovering her composure up to 12th quickest. But this is not going to allow her to challenge Agathe Bessar of France. So 59.63. Actually, Kendall Wessenberg's slide 59.61 without major drama like that in corner 5. So Lin really recovered well from that big hit.
Still the fastest she's been down by 6/10.
6/10, yeah. But
watch this.
This isn't going to feel good, is it?
Yeah.
Boom. Is she on her back?
Look.
All but.
Willie, what do you think of that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but look at the way she held her form, regained her composure. That was admirable stuff from a slider who's only been in the business for 4 years. Marina Gilardoni leads from Tina Hermann and Janine Flock, 15 sleds down.
We just saw Willi Schneider there. He was one of the last Germans, or one of the only Germans to win a world championship in men's scouting.
Kimberly Boss of the Netherlands, 16th place after 3 heats. She had a good weekend last time out in Sigulda, Latvia.
Well, the start's not her total nemesis. She's average, better than most. And then, well, she had a little issue in one of the runs. 12th in one heat, 21st in the other, and that's what happened to her when she was 21st. Look at, still can't get control of the sled. So curve 4-5, the scorpion curve, we call it, just claimed another victim.
She's struggled this season with injury, trying to keep herself healthy and starting races to make it into the World Championships. Best World Championships for Kim was 8th place in Innsbruck in 2016.
Yeah, we're so positive. I think that qualified her into the Olympic Games. The Dutch have such strict qualifying standards.
Where again, she finished in 8th place in Pyeongchang.
Yeah. Great.
So she's got definite top 10 potential when she's fit. This season has been not in that ballpark.
All the problems she just had coming down the track, she just went 1 second, 24 hundredths better than her 2 runs yesterday.
Well, best race of the year was Sigulda last week. She was 9th place, but shaking her head there.
1 second faster than she's been down, and she did this. This wasn't pretty.
And that's why they're finding the mistakes. She had to pull herself back onto the sled there, didn't she? Wow.
If they do a highlight reel, Martin, of some of those exits of that curve 4-5, how not to do it. But
it's even more demanding than the doodles in Koenigsegg, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 1 more to go. Kimberly Boss and all her sponsors on the helmet. Next up, Great Britain's Laura Dees broke her helmet in training, had to borrow one from the German team. And she's not the only non-German sliding in a German helmet.
She won a World Cup event here in 2016, I think. Martin opened the season, 15-16 season. And just good starts, 6th and 8th best starts yesterday. Here's top 5 start, but she had the 14th and 19th best times, including not such a great exit of the curve right here.
Big skid in the middle.
No, she was better than she did in the previous 2 heats.
Yeah.
With a great slide here, with this experience, I mean, the silver medalist from, or the bronze medalist from the Olympics in Pyeongchang, she can move up. She's definitely one of the most experienced in the field. And again, not too many people back here in the 10 to 20 range or beyond have won a World Cup race on this track like her.
Finding some speed now, 11th quickest. Can hear the helmet scraping along the ice in the high pressure corners, but again, it's going away.
No speed down
No
here
mistakes there. She's gone from 11th to 15th in the speed traps, buries her head, tries to find something at the line.
1800ths behind Kimberly Boss, and she was only 200ths behind entering the heat. So still fastest she's ever been down. She's a 1 second and 200ths faster, but Kimberly Boss was like 130.
So Laura Dees will stay in the top 20. But the winner here, 4 seasons ago.
One thing is how much stress do you put yourself on going through curve 4 to make sure you try and get through 5 and maybe you steer too much.
Well, the sled had a big skid in the middle of corner 4, which didn't help her with the line. Next up, Valentina Margaglio of Italy, 18th of our starters here. 18th place overnight for the young Italian. Again, top 5 starts in both heats, but it's controlling the sled in yesterday's conditions. Now, today, a lot less grip available and faster than anything they've had all week long. How will she fare?
Yeah, top 4-5, both runs yesterday. There it is again, 49. Good athlete the Italians have here.
And she holds her speed as well. Laura Dees started 5th fastest, was only 7th at that start clock.
And that's after the 50 meters, after the... not too bad.
Yeah.
So, Martin, I think the speed trap is after that first curve. So that's hopping on your sled and negotiating the first curve.
And Laura had a toe drag into corner 1. Valentina didn't. What's her speed like here? 17th. She's the 18th slider.
Yeah, she's got a few more things to figure out how to manage the equipment, set things up.
Good exit there off the Kreisel. And that's showing in her speed. She's now in almost top 10 speed. Here we go. She's trying to overhaul Laura Dees of Great Britain.
Other athletes.
And there was only a 10th between them. This could be very close. Does she move up the order? Not quite.
But still 15th best time of the run. She's 1100ths out of 17. She's 1900ths out of 16.
Yeah, she was a 10th behind Laura Dees. She's come down 100 slower than Laura, so the gap has opened up a fraction.
She had the 19th best time in the first heat, 16th in the second heat, and 15th so far in this heat. Look at the feet are inside the drive lines.
Yep.
That is the way to start, and that's why she's got a top 4 or 5 start. Great technique, and obviously a very good athlete the Italians have here, and great potential.
Wriggled her way kind of through the 4-5 crossover. Valentina Margalio of Italy. Savannah Graybill of the USA, 3rd World Championships for Savannah. She finished 8th in Whistler. She was tied for 18th overnight with Valentina Margalio of Italy. And actually in Whistler, she also claimed a team bronze medal. The team competition here is a mixed team competition for skeleton only for the first time. That will be tomorrow morning, Sunday morning.
Big heat here for Savannah. She wants to make the top 20. She's in the 19th position. She's only 100th ahead of her teammate Megan Henry, and a teammate I want to say both ways because she was American University. She played field hockey with Megan Henry, who's coming up next. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they're both battling for this 20th spot.
They're going to have to try and hold off Italy's Alessia Crippa. That looks like it should happen. 7th highest speed for Savannah Graybill at the Kreisel. If she lands this, she could be on the move. Great exit.
11th best speed there. She was 8th in the World Championships last year. Well, that's a wrong line there. Going to need to be straight. Good.
Straight uphill past our window.
Still hasn't moved at all.
No, trying to catch Valentina Margalio. She was tied with the Italian in the first heat and is
18th, 19th, so she's well off.
Yeah, she's lost
26 hundredths.
Yeah, quarter of a second to Valentina.
Quarter of a second to the Italian.
All right, well, that leaves the door open for her teammate Megan Henry because Margalio and Savannah were tied to the 100th of a second, and Megan Henry 100th behind her.
Didn't help, you know.
Yeah, that was rocky, 4-5. And again here, 11 and 12, a lot of ice.
I wonder if they go to bed thinking about that curve 4-5.
Yeah, probably, and especially when they wake up because they're sore and can't move.
Yeah, you're right. They're, you know, that's not.
So Megan Henry of the USA then, 20th sled, and behind her currently is where the cutoff is for the 4th and final heat. Only the fast 20 go through, so she needs to hold her position. In fact, her overnight thoughts will have been about moving up. 3 sleds covered by 100th. That's as near to a dead heat as you're going to get. 5:56 start.
First Lieutenant Megan Henry with good starts. She won a World Cup this year, medal and bronze in Innsbruck.
Yeah, first year racing in the World Cup in Europe. So most of the tracks here have been relatively new to her, and that goes for Altenberg as well. She's kind of scrambling her way through here. The start picked her up to 19th place. She's up to 18th at the moment. Good run off corner 9.
But the speed is not there.
Well, again, lightest athlete in the field pushing the heaviest sled. But a good exit here, 11 and 12. She'll be in the top 20. At the moment, she's moving ahead of teammate Savannah Graybill, trying to catch Valentina Margalio. 14th best speed. This could be close at the line. How close will she be? She'll be 19th or 18th.
18th best time. She moved up ahead of her teammate by 200.
Yep.
Still didn't catch the Italian.
So Margalio, despite that dramatic-looking corner 4-5, actually found more than a couple of tenths over her rivals around her. So Megan Henry moves up a spot. And I think Savannah Graybill is safe in the top 20 in 20th place right now.
I find it funny, the 19th and 20th are 2 American sleds who were both teammates at the American University's field hockey team. What are the odds on that?
They were 100th apart overnight.
Yeah.
They're 200s apart now.
Come on. Look at Megan. First Lieutenant Megan Henry.
I think she has made the top 20 on her World Championship debut here in Europe. So Marina Gilardoni, the race leader. 8 sleds remain in the 3rd, and for most of them, I think, final heat of the Women's Skeleton World Championships. Alessia Crippa in a borrowed helmet. When she came to the line, the 3rd of our starters in Heat 1, she pulled on the strap to tighten it. It tore out of the helmet, and it looked for a while as if she'd be disqualified. The jury said, well, it was an equipment failure. There was not a fault of the athlete. Therefore, they gave her a first run, and she drove herself into 21st position overnight. The young Italian top 12 starter in both heats.
Yeah, 10th there, so, you know, another good athlete the Italians have brought in, and young enough to, you know, they're probably thinking all the way down to Milan Cortina. Ooh, that's, you know, which is 2026, just 6 years away. But if you're 21, 22 years old, you know, what's Gilardoni?
19, the third youngest in the field.
So she's going to be 24, 25.
In her athletic prime and in her sliding prime.
And most importantly, they recruited an athlete who could start the sled.
Yep. Well, that's the case with both their athletes. They're both quick starters. They've got a couple of quick young men in the team as well. So Alessia Crippa, still in 21st place. It was a big leap ahead of her. She needed to find 1.2 seconds. And
she can do that, but hey, through and down, she completed her first ever World Championships. I bet you we see more of this young athlete. Hey, they're working on a program, and you know, I mean, with the new track they're talking about building in Milan Cortina, you and I both know Cortina is like a cathedral of sliding. That for us to get back to Cortina is like we're not worthy.
Legendary venue and the home of the great Eugenio Monti. Well, here 4 to 5, and she was in trouble as she fell off 4.
Look at those pictures. Yeah. It's just unbelievable.
Again, faster ice than she's experienced ever here in Altenberg, so hardly a surprise that she's struggling to deal with the pace.
Everybody's coming down faster than they did yesterday.
But what looked like she was not going to get a race, at least she did. Maddie Smith of Great Britain then. Mum and Dad Tom and Annabella here from Hazley in Warwickshire. Auntie Liz, best friend Helen, and her boyfriend, ex-British bobsledder Ollie Biddulph, have all come over to watch her slide. 16th fastest start with a 5:71. Again, the top 20 is a long way away, 1.5 seconds.
Well, post a personal best time. Get through 4 or 5 without a problem, not. But, you know, she's
raced here once in the World Cup, finished in 18th place, so this is, for her, not the first day that she needed. She was 26 in the first heat, 22nd in the second heat, 12th fastest speed at the Kreisel though, and this is the way you want to finish your World Championships, with a good run finally.
Martin, she had a top 10 finish in La Plan, her best of the season.
Yeah. And she finished in 15th in her World Championship debut in Whistler last year. It's a little closer for the family to get to. And the sun is starting to come out, so it may be a good day after all. 60.07.
Well, she came down, wow. She came down 8,800ths better than her best heat yesterday. Yep. Good improvement.
And over a second and a half quicker than her first run yesterday. So big improvement for Madeline Smith of Great Britain. Doesn't get her into the top 20.
So her World Championships is completed?
Yep. Big second pressure in the Kreisel, having to take a steer to get it off neatly in the third pressure. Just a little late flop. She'll be watching the 4th and final heat with her family from Warwickshire. Boyfriend Ollie, there's the family. Ollie Biddulph on the right-hand side there. There's her mum and dad, her aunt and her best friend watching. Watching from Iceland is Leslie Stratton's boyfriend, Greg West, former US slider. Greg, a bronze medalist in the team championships for USA in last year's Worlds. He was hoping to get here, and Leslie now being coached by Jeff Payne. 5:93 getaway for the young Swede.
Oh, she's dragging her toes all the way down, first curve to second curve. And when you have a deficient start time, oh, that hurts.
Well, she hasn't raced on this track before, so this is very, very new territory. It's a lot quicker than she was used to in training, and a lot quicker than it was yesterday.
Boy, look at the sun come out of the curves. Boy.
Yeah, well, that's not great news for the 4-man bobsleigh. Little late flop off corner 9. Good second pressure. Now let's see if she can nail the exit. Great exit off the Kreisel. 23rd speed from the 23rd athlete. And this will be the final run of her World Championships. Made her debut in Whistler last year, track she knows much better. Finished narrowly out of the top 20 in 21st, and she will be 23rd at the line. So Leslie Stratton down and done.
Jeff Payne, the Olympic silver medalist in skeleton at the 2006 Torino Olympics, is coaching Leslie and a few others.
Passed him on the way down the hill this morning in the sleet, and you wound the window down and said, hey, great day for racing. He was the one in 2009 in the whitewater rafting that was the men's skeleton final day in Lake Placid. He said, hey, it's an outdoor sport in the winter. Sometimes you get outdoor winter weather.
Yeah, well, this is a...
And he was the guy who led overnight and lost the gold, finished out of the medals. Leslie Stratton there, her World Championships is done for the second consecutive year. Still full of excitement after that thrill seekers ride down this icy Altenberg track. 24th after the first day's action, Kimberly Murray of Great Britain, 31 years of age.
Had a first run she'd love to get rid of.
Yeah, again, a loose training run crept into a few athletes, and not just in the second half of the field either. 5:65 getaway, that'll leave her in the top 15.
20th in the second run, which was give her a chance to get up, but the first run, it all started in the Scorpion section of the track coming up right here. And she finds a way to get through there cleanly.
Nice stuff, so she might start to challenge Leslie Stratton now. She was a couple of tenths behind. So Kimberly Murray, this is her first ever World Championship start. She raced here in the World Cup last year. She's also raced here in the Junior Feeder Series. 17th place finish in last year's World Cup in Altenberg. So to be outside the top 20, she'll be disappointed. That first run,
yeah, did it to her.
The nail in the coffin, wasn't it?
So she's doing pretty good. She might move up at least one spot here.
19th best speed. This is a good-looking run as well, and across the line.
22nd best run. She moves up.
She moves ahead of Leslie Stratton. So there you go. Leave them with your best. And again, that's well over half a second better than her first run. In fact, that's 1.2 seconds better than her first run.
Her first run, it's 2 seconds, 2200s better.
Yeah,
that's how bad that first heat was.
2.2.
2.2.
Yeah.
Technique here. Good. Drive. She can't fault anything there.
So Kimberly Murray moves up a spot on her final run. Again, lots of support from friends and family for all sorts of athletes here. Friends and family here as well for Nicole Silveira for Brazil. Her second World Championships, her first season sliding in Europe. And her mum and her boyfriend have come to watch her here. She wants to say hello to all her friends back home in Brazil and also to those in Calgary in Canada.
Well, the secret for all of these athletes in this part of the field is the starts. She's at the 22nd best start, this time the 19th best start, so she's improved.
She was the very first athlete off the hill in the beginning at the World Championships. Little Rocky from 4 to 5. Second in the North America's Cup Championship this year, so she knows the North American tracks well, but this is her first venture in Europe, and this will be the end of her second ever season sliding.
A nurse in Calgary.
Yeah. Well, she started in bobsled, trying to qualify a Brazilian women's team for the 2018 Games in Pyeongchang, then went back to her nursing studies, and after completing those, qualifying as a nurse, last year she came back to sliding, but in skeleton, and this season she came to Europe for the first time. So Altenberg, she couldn't find it with a map and a torch last year, and here she is racing in the World Championships. Well, Jeff Payne helping out with the smaller nations.
She went ahead of Leslie Stratton too.
Yep. So she picks up a spot.
Fourth place currently for...
So sun coming out. I mean,
good way to, now starting to shield our eyes in the commentary booth. Good way to finish her run. There's the Brazilian support. Her boyfriend, her mum are here. Great to see that support at the trackside for Nicole Silveira.
Well, I think half the field here again has had issues with exit 4 or 5, same as in the men.
75%. There might be 4 or 5 who got through cleanly. Little skid down the straight. Nice to see Nicole back in action in the World Championships. And then heading home for a bit of sun, sea and sand. Calgary's famed for that, right? Next up is Xu Yangqi of China, just 19 years old, a World Championship debutante, exactly equal youngest athlete in the field with Data Zunta of Latvia, a 5:59 getaway for the Chinese.
19 and no experience, Martin. Look at these mistakes early on.
And that's her fastest start of the competition. Her first race was in November last year, John.
Martin, she had the 10th best start time. She's 19, brand new, just started, probably has less than 100 trips under her belt in her career.
They did a little bit of pre-season training, and then she went on to the North America's Cup. She won all 3 NAC races in Park City, Utah. So one thing we know is that she can start and glide, but this is a very different driving.
Yeah, this is a learning procedure, World Championship. She's a 100-meter sprinter, which is why she's got those pretty good starts.
And she's
but here
has some pretty good bruises as well. Pinball Wizard down the straight again.
Through and down.
60.71.
Her fastest time of the competition, half-second better.
And again, you know, she's not raced on the track before, so she had half a dozen training runs, 3 different days, 3 different sets of weather conditions. Yesterday, different again, and today it's like glass.
Well, this is the top of the track, curve 1 to 2. The last place you want to be dealing with any kind of not being straight is here.
Little skid, and I think she's the only one to hit that wall there where the luge comes in. And again, pinballing down the straight, just wiping speed off. So Zhu Yanqi, 19 years old, completes her World Championships. Jackie Narracott of Australia.
Ooh. Jackie's got a little advantage to extract on the track after what happened to her in the second run yesterday in the Scorpion part of the track.
4th World Championships for her. Her best result, 16th place in Winterberg. She didn't race last year in Whistler. She was struggling with concussion towards the end of the season. Married during the summer to long-term boyfriend Don Parsons of Great Britain, the Olympic bronze medalist from Pyeongchang. Jackie on a Bromley sled as ever. 5:80 getaway. A little slower than her first 2. Let's see what she can produce down the track.
Her favorite athlete is Anna Mears, the track cyclist, multiple gold medal in Australia.
She's a Queenslander.
Track cycling, the World Championships are going on up in Berlin.
20th best speed at the moment. So Jackie needs a good exit from the Kreisel, gets it. And she might overhaul Zhu of China, actually. There's a good chance here.
And Leslie Stratton, too. Ooh, not going to help.
Well, that's the same skid that Zhu had. Again, the ice very different from what they are used to. So the setup that they've got on the sled may not have worked. 26 fastest run, 60.76, not enough to catch the Chinese.
Or the Swede, Leslie Stratton.
Just behind Leslie Stratton. Zhu did move up to 25th, Leslie Stratton 26th, Jackie Narracott 27th. Her season comes to an end. And she and Dom, based partly in Queensland, Australia.
She's another one that's tried women's bobsledding first, like Jill Ardoni.
Started off as a brake woman.
Bang, couple 14, 15 uphill section. TV does not do it justice.
Well, she'll head home to Bath and then I'm sure off to Oz for a bit of relaxation. Equal youngest athlete in the field, another of our debutantes, Data Zunta from Latvia. Born on the 21st of November 2000, the same as Zhu Yanqi. Now going to have to obviously find out what hour of the day. And
Can you
also
get on
then,
that? Can you get on that?
But then it's got to be the time zones. No.
Come on, Mark.
Life's too short. Let's just celebrate her first World Championships. First time we've ever seen this Latvian race. She's not done a World Cup start either.
Good to see a female Latvian slider.
She raced in the Youth Olympic Games in Lillehammer. She finished in 5th position. And of course, training in Sigulda in Latvia, she shares her training base with the Dukos brothers. Sneaks through 4 to 5 pretty cleanly.
What the Latvians did up there a couple of weeks ago, we're still talking about it.
Oh, fantastic celebration of the sport.
Giving away the Olympic gold medals to Team Novartis and the 7, 8, 10,000 Latvians that were there. What a setup.
Great parallel line through there. That's very much the Martins and Thomas Dukos line, and that's because
good lines.
That's what the Dukos sled does. She needs a little more speed at the start, still just 19. That will come with age and training.
World Championship at 19 years old, through and down.
Down and done, 60.95. Again, comfortably her quickest run. So the track is in very much faster form this morning, and she hangs on to it well. Tartusunta of Latvia rounds out her World Championships and completes our third and penultimate heat here in Altenberg.
Well, there's another victim to our scorpion section of the track. Real low there, Martin,
yeah.
Really holding that line down, much like Gilardoni, but that's too low.
I think, again, that's the nature of the Ducour's sled. That's just what it does. They all handle slightly differently. And Data, congratulations, made her World Championship debut. And you never know, with a bit of luck, we might see her in the World Cup next season. At the top of the pile, 3 heats in, 1 to go. Marina Gilardoni, the European silver medalist last week in Sigulda, Latvia, and she is leading the World Championships now in Altenberg in Germany. 1 more minute of ice time to decide the medals, and we will start our action at 11 o'clock local time. That's 10 GMT in just under 30 minutes from now. Marina Gilardoni leads. The battle might be for bronze between Janine Flock and Jacqueline Lurling, if Lurling can somehow find a superhuman run. But there are lots of tight tussles right behind. Look at Kim Malman's Julia Kanakina, 100th apart, 9th and 10th. And further down, again, some tight battles.
Battle above for the U.S., 200ths apart.
Yep, that's going to be
U.S. sled.
Battle for supremacy.
Kendall Wessenberg up at 11th. That's a good place for her. That's where she was last year in the World Championships.
For Madeline Smith and Alessia Cripper, the rest of them, they will be trackside watching the 4th and final heat. Join us too, if you can, in just under 30 minutes from now, when we resume and decide the Women's Skeleton World Championship medals here in Altenberg.